Today I'm going to be chatting about expectation and the paradox that expectation is. Expectation, I guess, takes place in the absent vacuum of the present moment. So it fills in that void when we're not sure of the future. And I know in my own case as an athlete, expectation was almost exclusively at the cost of my own state of presence, which wasn't great. And you know, the better I went, the more expectation I suffered from. And I mean, suffered literally. The lack of presence hampered my own life greatly, certainly my own athletic life, including any chance of my racing career getting any real consistency. And I guess if I had to be perfectly honest, I was an anxious mess at the mercy of my own mind and my own thinking. But suffer I did, and learn I have. And everything has an unfolding purpose, and we often don't see it at the time, right? We only see it with the benefit of hindsight, a little bit of wisdom, maybe some age. So our consciousness is almost completely preoccupied with memory and expectation. So we fail to realize that there never was, nor will there ever be anything else other than this moment. And we've talked about this before. And when that future that we hang on to with our expectations arrives, it won't be the future anymore. It'll be the present moment. It'll be the now. So it's an oxymoron. It's an illusion, isn't it? The success or failure of that present moment will depend completely on how present you are able to stay in each moment that leads up to that coming now, that we refer to as the future, that we get ourselves into so much trouble with as athletes when we pin our hopes on expectation, when we pin our hopes on an outcome instead of pinning our presence on the process. You know, if you've got a whole fistful of expectation about the future, then you really are not that present here and now, are you? How could you be? You can't be in two places at once. But one's a mind-based place and another's a reality. Simple, really. Presence in the moment, and you're present with reality. You know, if you're lost in your own head with the expectation and the outcome, then you're lost in an illusion of something that's not occurring here and now. And the process always occurs here and now. You know we can trust reality to be stable, but can you trust your mind to be stable? Can you trust an outcome to be stable? A projection, you know? And when the mind takes over, it remembers and it anticipates, it exaggerates, it distorts, it overlooks, doesn't it? Do you know that the past is projected into the future, and the future betrays expectations all the time, mostly because we're not present. So the things don't sync and the things don't align. So the organ of sensation and action, this body, is stimulated beyond capacity, inevitably breaks down because it can't keep it up. Can't keep up with the expectation because it's not being listened to. The object of expectation cannot yield what it's expected of it, and it gets worn out or destroyed by misuse of a mind that cannot or will not anchor itself here and now. And I know that from personal experience. And I know that with working with athletes for so long. The attachment to the expectation causes this destruction of the organism, which is you, me, essentially because the mind treats the organism like a machine. It treats everything objectively, and we're not a machine, right? We're not an object. You know, the organism that is the child of pure awareness has a far greater intelligence. And it's called the intuition of consciousness, you know? And that's right. The very energy of your own being and life is that consciousness. It knows nothing about the repetitive stupidity of a mind hell-bent on destruction through an objective attachment to a projected goal that isn't here yet. So we just need to be mindful of that. And the ultimate paradox is that through the mind's objective attachment, it destroys the very chance of us attaining the goal that we're attached to achieving. Oh man, it's a trip. It's a circuit. And we're afraid of winning. We are literally afraid of the better. So we cling to the worst. We cling to the story of the past, the catastrophes that we project into the future. And when you really look at this with clarity in your own life, you realize this is stupidity that verges on insanity. Our complete inability to stay present with our life and our process and our task. That's what we're talking about. So the answer then is in the capacity to be the silent witness to the journey the goal unfolds in, subjectively, not objectively. When you listen, when you really listen inwards for guidance, the guidance is there. You know, it's hidden in all the signs that you're so busy blocking out and ignoring, because that's what you've been taught to do as an athlete. That's what we think athletes do. That's what we told athletes do, but it's not true. It doesn't pan out in experience. It doesn't pan out. So again, you're not an organism. You're not a machine, and neither am I. None of us are. So a machine, it doesn't have a brain. It needs an operator, right? We're so busy trying to be a machine that no one's in the driver's seat. The machine, of course, doesn't know where it's going and inevitably crashes or runs out of fuel, like we said earlier. We need a brain. The body is a brain. The mind has a brain. You know, there's more than one brain. So the question is, what is an athlete? What is an athlete? An athlete is an organism, a field of awareness of the most vast, silent intelligence that when we tap into it, we've got a vein of pure gold that we can use. And that organism expresses itself through this moment, through this process that's occurring now. You're here now, not tomorrow, nor next month, nor next year, nor last month. And all you've got, all you've ever had is this moment. Isn't that the truth? So we should let the organism do its job. We should listen to the signals. We should stay present with the task. We should stay out of the past and stay out of expectations and the projected future. We should let our gut and our intuition guide us towards the goal in the here and now. And when we do that, we'll discover the most powerful athletic fuel an athlete can discover, called flow. So when we surrender athletically to the flow of the present moment, we let ourselves win. You know, you'll give up the worse for the better. Absolutely no doubt about it. And with flow, you become a human tuning fork. You can hear more, you can sense more, you can feel more. I mean, and then we can use the meters that we've got in a more beneficial way. So there is a choice here. You are the subject, a conscious organism and a human tuning fork. Or you're an illusion of an object that thinks itself a machine. Within a hologram, the mind paints itself in, called past and future. And none of that is here. So simply be here, be present with the task, and you will tap into your own potential. Thanks for listening.